Oh, we're live and the intro didn't start.
It's time for Transformers, the show! From Michael Bay to Marvel, UK, and every workload in between. Breaking news and toy reviews, every robot turns wet dream. Grab a brew and join the crew, become part of our scene. Bring your mom, let's drink her own, make sure you're at least 18. Welcome to the show, the party and Hasbro. Friday nights, let's go, Transformers, the show!
Welcome to Transformers the Show, episode 264. That was a wonderful start to this episode there. We're joined, well, you might have guessed, we're joined by the wonderful Spider Father here, and Samsformers, Rohan's Corner, and BistoYeti. Some of the best good-looking Transformer fans out there, and we got them just for you guys tonight. But let's look at the
I
news.
talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
So, sadly, we say goodbye to Roberto. Is it Orsi? If I
Yes.
pronounced it right. Roberto Orsi. And I think he was called affectionately Bob. Sad to say goodbye to him.
That's right.
He was a writer and producer who worked on some of the biggest action, adventure, and sci-fi movies and television shows from the first 2 decades of this century. He died at home in Los Angeles yesterday, February 25th, after a battle with kidney disease. He was 51. Orsi worked on both Transformers and Revenge of the Fallen films as a writer while producing Transformer Prime TV series. Transformer Prime TV series being an exceptional cartoon. So now we go on with the news. Unless someone wanted to say something about Roberto.
No,
Well, so I think it's no age at all. It's probably in and around all of our ages, to be honest with you. He's one of the sort of actual fans who grew up as a Transformers fan, had a very strong partnership with Alex Kurtzman. The two of them together worked on the original Transformers movie with Hasbro. When I was there was a big kind of rush about it. Everyone was really excited to have those two on board, especially after, as you said, Jamie, with the Transformers Prime TV show being such a big hit. It was really big. So yeah, very
With
sad
an
news.
exceptional budget as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Had an exceptional budget, Transformers Prime.
Yep, that's right.
And I think it was one of the very few people managed to convince was that Dwayne the Johnson Rock, who can't act, to actually die. So
Yeah, that
that's
was something, let's be
exceptional.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's get back to the news and something cheery. And we've got this new toy line. You might have heard of them before. It's Blockies. Blockies, who are taking the world by storm just now. Will they always take them by storm, or will they eventually die like Kree did? Who knows? But here we've got Minor Megatron. This is part of the Shiny collection, and he looks awesome. And then we've also got some Tarn action as well.
how many figures
I
are
think that's
normally in a case for the Galaxy versions? Is it 8 or 6?
The Galaxy versions is 9.
I thought it was
There's
nice.
9
so
figures in the Galaxy version.
Because these are shiny ones. Are these ones that have lights in their chest?
Yes, so I think they might be down to 6, aren't they? They might
Yeah.
be down to 6.
There's still another 4 reveals to come.
And we've also got Hasbro Transformers Age of the Prime reissue repaints, Triptychon. This is also taken by Note Wrap again. Yes, anyone here has ordered this?
Yes. No.
It looks epic. I haven't ordered it, but it looks epic.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Well,
I mean,
not
my
really.
my Legends one's covered in Toy Hacks labels, so it'll be nice to have one that's just plain.
Just playing.
Yeah, good contrast.
I pre-ordered this, and I don't know why. I pre-ordered it just because it looks
It feels
brilliant.
good.
But
You press
The
the
colour
button,
scheme
and it
is
feels
better.
better. That's why.
yeah, that tail really pops. It's beautiful.
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
I just
Yeah,
I just
can
wish
see-
they made the
I can see
Titan
why you would
smaller.
Yeah, mini version of
Mm.
Titan.
I wish they would do that, because I think it'd be brilliant. Because sometimes I just want representation of the Titans, but not that epic size.
Isn't it
Get
one of
the
the
Doctor Who
fourth party manufacturers? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Either Doctor Who or Iron Factory will probably do a mini version.
I want mainline Rohan. I don't want those third-party rip-offs.
Fair enough.
And we also have some latest news as well, which is a mask from the Royal Subjects, which I must admit, I've never heard of that company before. And they've been teasing mask pictures all day and yesterday, and the pictures are just getting better and better.
So I was a little bit surprised that the Royal Subjects were doing these because, as Jamie says, as far as I'm aware, they only do those little bobblehead type figures. So they did the G1 characters with like big heads, kind of like part of what is that big fad that everyone collects? Those
Funko.
Funko Pops, yeah.
Funko Pop style type things. But these look excellent, like actual action figures, just like the originals.
They've done a line of IDW style turtles. So
they any good?
Well, they look awesome. These mask figures. Don't know about the turtles, but these mask figures look brilliant. And there's the sort of price, which is an estimate, I believe, because I don't think the official prices have been out, but they're already up for pre-order by a European company, which sounds German.
90 euros is nothing when you consider that a so-so version of Switchblade, which is quite a delicate toy. It's very hard to find one that's not broken. Is about 200 quid. So, absolutely, take my money.
Yeah, they're good.
Yes, because how much can you put on the price of a dream? And everyone wants Mask again, but they want Mask, which is not broken. We've been crying for this toy line, like Visionaries. We want this toy line, and I'm all in for this.
I mean, you can
They're basically Transformers.
I mean, you can see already in the pictures they've made some changes. So chrome's gone, but then chrome is delicate, so they've replaced it with shiny metal paint, which looks quite good. Don't know if the tires are rubber, but I'm hoping they're rubber. They do look like they were sort of maybe like that beachcomber plastic, the soft rubbery stuff he's got in his tires. And then you've got all these specs as well, especially for the masks. I think they clip onto the front of the mask, so it looks like they're doing what they do in the show. So yeah, really looking forward to these.
I think the most important thing is the eyes. They've got eyes, unlike the third-party mask figures, like hideous, horrific monsters. You know,
and
these things have eyes.
In the chat who paints Warhammer or similar knows how hard it is to get the eyes right.
But Takada Tommy seemed to do it well with their Diacon, and these things are tiny, you know. Some more news. Adamas Machina, Rodimus, or Rodimus Prime was released this week. It's already sold out at Kapow Toys and in demand. It's an exceptional toy. Here's some pictures here by Goro1080 on X, which you formerly known as Twitter until some idiot took it over. Moving on, we've got here's some comparison shots there.
Very stylized,
and it does look good. And if you know a John Strong on internet, through Instagram or Facebook, he's done some excellent photos already. It does look good. I wish maybe I'd got it now. I don't know.
I mean, it's a good indicator of how good those Predacons that are coming are going to be.
And here's what we're all asking for: a comparison with a Coke bottle.
There you go.
Zero sugar, because we're not going to have any sugar drinks.
Yeah, zero sugar. If only it was a lime flavor version. But anyway.
Go against the sugar tax. Still buy the expensive robot.
And we've got the dramatic capture series, which is being teased by Takada.
I'll be interested to see how different these figures are, because I've got the other dramatic capture series figures, and they're really nice in hand. And it's like the old days of Takara. Takara would do a better version than Hasbro did, so you'd wait 6 months till the Takara version come out, and then you get that figure.
I used to believe that until I got the dramatic capture set with Megatron, Soundwave, and Shockwave, and those figures had notorious issues with them, apart from Shockwave. Soundwave had scars on his faceplate, which was across the line. And Megatron had screws, which were threaded and had very loose legs. Meaning when people were even trying to tighten the legs to fix this slight problem, they had to deal with threaded legs, so they were sending out lots of replacement parts, you know. So it kind of put me off the dramatic series.
Yeah,
I
hopefully
don't
the
know, but
quality of this set will be better.
Well, the Optimus Prime, I've heard no complaints, but then sometimes you don't know until you buy the product, then you know what to look for. Then suddenly the complaints become very visible. Oh yes, RC Missing Link. It does look better, doesn't it? It suddenly looks like I could understand why people wanted. Before I thought they were insane. I couldn't understand it. You know, and they were so excited about it, and I just don't know what, you know. But
I didn't see it.
I wasn't.
yes.
Yeah.
It looks far better than it should. Really.
I mean, those of us who've got G1 collections that we like to display, that is a very glaring omission that we can now stick on the shelf. And I was reading a comment by Maz earlier, and he was saying, look how front and center that rub sign is on the figure, and it shows the attention to detail that the designers are bringing to these figures, because 1986 was the first year that the figures were designed with a little square actually molded into the bodywork so that you could place that sticker. And that's what they've done there. They've left a square, stuck the sticker in it, and it just hits all the details.
Is that an actual sticker they're using, a heat rub sticker?
I think it probably is.
Wow.
Authenticity.
But
Missing Link is...
if you look at the anime version one, they've actually added sticker detail tampos, or maybe I think that's paint. Which
what you said, tampons there for a second.
The toy or the animation model never had, but you would have had if it had a toy at that point.
Yeah. So anyway, HasLab Ohio Geyser has been funded for the tier 1. So yeah, basically we expect all the tiers to be unlocked, but officially, tier 1 has been unlocked. So everyone is about rejoicing now, because that means now 7 figures with this box set is guaranteed. But I would presume every tier is going to be unlocked eventually. We still got plenty of time, and you know, Japan's in the race now as well.
And they're quite big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did anyone see the video they put up this afternoon with the grey?
I saw some of it,
yeah. Compared to a regular deluxe, they're quite big.
Well, they are advertised at Voyager, aren't they? So there's 6.
And did you notice that Jaguar in vehicle mode, the size for the combined mode turned into an extra big rocket pack that you add onto the back of Jaguar's vehicle mode?
No, didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think there's any way to put them when they're all in robot mode, but that's where it goes when they're in alt mode.
Well,
yeah, I think if they
use all back this,
really good for, really good value for money for people once
so who's backed this then? Spider Father, have you backed it? Yep. Oh, yeah. Samsformers, have you backed it?
No, sir.
Letting the side down. Bisto, have you backed it?
Oh, no chance.
No. Rohan, have you backed it?
I will back it if it gets to all the tiers.
If it gets to, it will get to all the tiers, Rohan. It will. Just back it.
Is that stand? Rohan really wants the stand.
Was it a stand and blast effects? Is that the other series?
Yeah.
Any gap fillers? Probably not.
No.
Well, this has been a little bit controversial. For controversial in the sense it was controversial for me. 2 fan favorites, and I just can't get over that. It says 2 fan favorites: Wafa Cybertron Siege Pearl and Wafa Cybertron Airfries Jailbreaker. But 2 fans. Is it 2 fans? Do you mean there's 2 fans they asked out of the myriad of fancy ass, and he went, "This is our favourite," so they went with that. They went, "We can use this. We can, we're playing with words, but no one will notice." This was
canteen.
Yeah. This was my reaction to this. I'm going to show a video quickly of my reaction to this in real time. It just got worse.
I can just imagine.
Yeah. Real time, just yeah.
But wasn't everyone offloading these Trailbreakers not a few months ago because they bought the buzzworthy Bumblebee 5 pack?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm really, this is a conspiracy theory, but I've taken off my I don't know, whatever you call it, tinfoil hat, whatever. Seriously, I bet you once they release these guys, right, and people buy them because they're silly, or we've got new fans who are old enough now to buy these things. But I bet they'll release a pill with the clear plastic removed. It'll be sort of blue tinted glass. It'll be blue plastic instead of transparent plastic. And I bet they'll release an Airflies pill, standalone, or in a box set with other Airflies figures. I bet they'll do that because that's Hasbro to the letter. That's something evil that they would do. Not that I'm calling Hasbro an evil company. I would wish I could work with them, but I think that's what they would do. I can guarantee it. So here we are. Look at the custom weapon configuration. Wow. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, he just looks weird. But we've got 3D printed parts for Takara Transformers Masterpiece. There's also one for just the cab by itself. It's just to make it look a little bit more authentic to the original sort of cartoon. He claims it's quite flexible and works. It's like this sort of the ab crunch area. But yes, that's something for people who like the add-ons. Yeah, it does. He's tested that out and stuff like that. Third party news time.
Battle this.
It's heavy metal cruncher time as Optimus Prime goes toe-to-toe with Combat Megatron. Prime is one tough dude underneath his hood. He's a Transformer missile fire phenomenon. Combat Megatron is combat armed. His mighty mega missiles are slamming. He can mad out more for use mega force, but Combat Optimus is still standing.
Unfortunately, I'm driving through a tunnel right now, so we'll have to go through these very fast. Here we've got the Galaxy Toy Michael scale Jazz. I noticed that the third party is getting very much smaller and smaller to hide the detail from people with failing eyesight. So that's a good play. Well done, third party. You're doing well there. You've got your Jazz in the
Looks good.
Jazz hands.
He's not even coloured in, Rohan. He's not. You can't tell yet.
That looks like it's a budget release, so it's going to be. It better be cheap because it doesn't look like it's taken a lot to make that. It's not a new age figure.
Yeah, and he's got his speakers there, but is he using them as weapons? Is that what he's doing?
I think it's just poorly.
Yeah, he's having fun, isn't he? Yeah.
It's like me playing the triangle at a school fair. But yeah, there it is. Yeah, the door's open. That's good. Yeah.
Nice.
You can't say it looks nice when it's not been coloured in. Yeah, you don't know.
It's a nice shape.
Because the plastic looks like, yeah, but it looks like he's got fingerprints all over him. I can see aesthetically he looks like the cartoon G1 Jazz, doesn't he? He does look like he's got that sort of mold sort of figure to him.
Do you think that those two bits from Optimus Prime's trailer they're teasing there combine into a robot mode?
Does look
we're just
like
going to
look at some transformation.
Doing the right arms and feet.
The answer's just coming at you right now. Because these are Galaxy Toys, microscale, roller, and drone.
Well, that's original. That's not been done before.
Yeah, that's actually quite cool. I mean, we've had the bigger version roller, haven't we?
Yeah.
You transformed to be got that DF Nation about 2 years ago.
Yeah, ruler.
But yes, sadly, no more robotic pictures, but plenty of the vehicles. They do, as Rohan would say, you can say it now, they do look. He's not saying it. They look nice, even unpainted. That does look quite cool, actually.
Oh, that's a cool set. Yeah, so that's G.I. Joe-esque.
Yes, kind of, isn't it? But now we've also got some more third-party stuff. We've got Fans Hobby here, MB22 Skyflame. That looks quite nice there. They're showing some teaser pictures, mostly all in the vehicle mode. You know, we got the robot mode there, hidden behind a shadow. Someone's obviously lightened it up with the exposure so we can have a sort of better look. Yeah, he looks a bit grumpy, doesn't he, though? Doesn't look too happy.
Yep. He's missing some neck.
So there it is.
I mean, it's cool. It's cool. But I would have preferred Space Warp.
And also we've got Fans Hobby MB25A Obsidian Blade, a TFCon Los Angeles 25 exclusive, limited to just 500 pieces worldwide. That means 500 people can get it. Each individual serial numbered unit will be available beginning with TFCon March the 7th to the 9th for about $165 at the show. Who likes this?
Well, I've got the Prime it combines with, the black one. So it would be nice to have, but yeah.
What about you, Bisto and Sam? You guys like you? No,
not for me. No,
it is.
Does it not come with a stand?
Yeah, it's a brick in it. I don't know. It's called an Obsidian Blade. It's a cool name, but it's for a brick.
Brick blade.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks quite cool.
Yeah, I don't want to jump through hoops for something like that.
I'm sure, like his functionality with his combining with the big prime and stuff will look awesome. But no, I've not got the big prime, so there's no point me getting it.
And we also have some
dark color, isn't it? They could have cut it up a little bit, probably.
Yeah, you know, what can you do with third-party people, Rohan? You've also got some McToy stuff. You got MTRC11 Wingnut and Die Job.
how?
Which is the weirdest name ever.
Die Job.
Yeah, it's just like they've given up, haven't they? They've just given up in names.
They just keep using that mold over and over again. I mean, I guess it makes
Speaking
them
of-
money.
They are Seekers, Sam. To be fair, you know what Seekers are. They're
Yeah.
class of Decepticon planes.
Yeah. But they've milked that, haven't they? But
Have you actually
good.
said they've milked something? Third party have milked something too much.
yeah, that they have. But they're good figures, to be fair. But they've milked it a little bit.
I mean, I'd like to
Mod
see what else
fans?
they can do.
Yeah, maybe more Seekers. Mod fans, AL-01 Roller, Nemesis Roller. He looks good.
Yeah, it's a really
I like the
decent
green accent on there.
Yeah,
for the
that's quite
money.
neat.
Because it's
That
not
was
about
relatively cheap, wasn't it?
about 30 quid, 35 quid.
It's such a good value for money. For as
Yeah.
you say, you want it bigger. It's brilliant. Great, cool kit, bit of kit.
Has he actually got a story in the comics at all?
No,
No.
they're just recoloring the mold again and again and again.
Yeah, I wish they'd kind of, because they did like a version that was in the IDW Rollers colours, but they kept the same head sculpt. So I wish they would have given him a different head sculpt, and then that maybe, you know, could have justified it. So, but it's just the same head sculpt, different colours.
We've got New Age Toys, Leprechaun or Leprechaun, Swerve, and we've also got the GoBot Smallfoot, which is basically thanks to Dark Emperor here from Weeble User.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to them. My pre-order shipped today, so it should be with me in a couple of weeks.
You know, I was actually looking at that and I was thinking to myself, what can I say which is disparaging against this third party figure? And I couldn't think of anything because I do look quite good and they look even better with the fence. So have you got the whole collection so far? Yeah.
Yeah, new age of quality. And their mini bots are tiny. They pack so much engineering into each one.
The mini bots
And the
specifically.
box art.
That's good. That looks good.
Yeah, sometimes when you look at the third party company, you think to yourself, the box art, and it's almost like I feel like Hasbro's starting to catch up now with the box art, because not that I was against the Legacy and the Kingdom box art, but there was so much going on sometimes. It kind of made you not really see the figure, you know, because it was hidden behind so much. Well, I mean, it was gorgeous artwork, but you know, sometimes I think if you're just going out there to buy these toys, you want to buy things which are you can visually see easily enough in these boxes. And you also want to be able to know, is it the same toy line? Does it belong together? And sometimes with the box art, you know, especially when you look at Transformers, you start to get, but is this the correct toy? Does this toy belong with that toy? Especially if you're buying it for someone else and you yourself are maybe not a Transformer fan. I think it kind of makes it harder. So I'm happy with the new Studio Series 86 box art, which is a little bit much simpler now. More third party robot toys, the MP scale Scorponok and from Beast Wars, the big eyebrows.
Oh, yeah.
Looks very toon accurate.
It does. It's really nice, but the problem is now Takara's released Rat Trap. They might get round to doing the Predacons now. So I want to spend the money on that when there might be an official one around the corner.
True.
In a couple of years.
But did you but you're not getting younger, Lee, are you? So maybe you want to have your
I'm getting more
Predacons now. Fabulously could be a true thing, but you might be fabulous in your coffin soon. You just don't know because you're not getting younger, and you want to have those Predacons now. You know, we can't wait until the 22nd century now for Takara to get round to this.
The problem I had with it is that his actual bot mode face looks very sinister when it should look goofy. So
it should look goofy.
Very toon accurate, but Scorponok was a dunce. He wasn't. He looks like some sort of evil genius in this.
He looks like a Marx brother there with those eyebrows.
Maybe he should have come with several faceplates.
He does look
well.
great.
Thank God for that. That's third party news, all nice and finished. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be thinking about the rest of the show. And the rest of the show, we're going to be doing the normal things, which is basically pickups. We're going to have social corner. We're going to have foreplay. Foreplay is going to be all about what our Grail was, the Grail we never thought we would have, but we have actually got and we're happy for, and a Grail which is always going to be out of sight, you know, something which we just don't think we would ever get. And we're going to have a discussion where we talk about specs and profiles. Do we want them back? Should Hasbro bring these things back? That's what we talk about later on the show. But just now, just join me in for this crazy ride as I try to find the menu for pickups.
We now return to the Transformers.
So, Bisto, what have you picked up this week?
Right. Well, maybe not strictly all this week, but got a few. So, first up, we've got the G2 breakdown. Really love the colours. I had some felt tip pens when I was a kid that looked like this. So, you know, I'm quite glad to have got him. But he's just a little guy, isn't he? I've not got any of the other Stunticons from this range. So I don't know why he has a separate spoiler that comes off, and there's no sensible place to actually put it in robot mode.
Supposed to hold it as a weapon, apparently.
There's no sensible place to put it in robot mode. Like whereas the rest of the line in Legacy and since Siege, there's been lots of like auxiliary ports on, you know, guys like on the backs and stuff like that, and there just isn't on him. And you think, well, he's got this spoiler, so I'm now condemned to either just sticking it to the side of his leg like this, or him holding it like a weapon, like that scene in is it Crocodile Dundee, where he throws a spoiler. The limo driver throws the bit of the car.
That's a wonderful reference, Bisto. Have you got a reference for people not born in the 80s?
The bit off the bonnet.
No, I'm on Transformers the show. You've just been talking about Mask for half an hour. You know. Right. Got this guy. This is Hawk Guy. He's part of the Leo Kaiser. This is the Iron Factory version. We don't have to put cap in hand to Hasbro to get. And he's cool. He's got lots of detail. He's fantastic. I like that he's got like that Battle of the Planet style head sculpt. He's just this lovely shade of pink. So he's cool. We've got Sideswipe. This is DX9's version of Sideswipe. MP version. He's really cool. There's I like, you know, he's got this kind of like really Toon-esque flavor. Well, then they've gone, you know what, you can swap out his hands to become pile drivers, but we'll also make the pile drivers so they can become like hammers. And I just think that's just such cool and very characterful addition. And he does look pretty awesome just wielding a hammer. Well, they're kind of like, we've used die casting the toes and we're going to prove it by not painting them. That was like the one ding, I think, against him. Then we've been going through the latest season of blockies. I've got one left to open, and I don't like opening them until the next box set's been revealed. So I know that I've got Autobot Megatron to open, and I'm like going, I could open it, but I don't. I've got just like one of those weird little things where I'm like, yeah, open it.
A blockies dilemma.
Yeah, until I know there's more on the way. And then arriving today, and I've not had a chance to look at, is MP Jinrai.
Ooh.
So, Jinrai. So I'm looking forward to giving this guy a good look-see over the weekend. So,
I haven't opened mine yet.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. So, yeah, that's my pickups.
Thank you very much, Bisto.
I'm still on.
Good. Yeah, no, I had two options: remove him from the station, and I started thinking about how you were talking about third party there, and I thought, I don't know. Rohan, what have you picked up this week?
Well, so this week, as many of you have probably seen on many of the Facebooks and other websites, there have been some great deals coming out at TK Maxx. So I've been hitting up my local TK Maxx's, and I have picked up this is a re-pickup because it's a figure that I had years ago, sold it, and now I've picked it up again. Core Class Soundwave, you cannot go wrong with a Core Class Soundwave. I also picked up Concept Art Sunstreaker. I didn't really collect this line, but he just looks cool, so I picked him up from the Bumblebee film. I also got from Smith's the Studio Series Gamer Edition Bumblebee. Again, I don't collect this line, but he looks really cool, so I just thought, he's on clearance and he looks like a cool little figure and a nice alt mode, different. So picked him up. And then also got some of these guys from The Entertainer. So I don't know if everybody's seen these, but Hot Wheels are now doing the Transformers movie cars. They've got 5 of them in the line. So you've got Crosshairs or whatever his name is, Barricade from the original movie, and then you got Drift in the car mode, and I've forgotten what the red Pagani Hyura was called. Dino, was it? Yeah. So I only managed to get 4 of them. Unfortunately, someone had bought the 5th one, so I need to go and find that now, track that down. And then on eBay, I managed to pick up a huge lot of Transformers for not a lot of money. Specifically, the Legacy figures that have come out recently. So the Deluxe Prime, which I've bought specifically to transform and put him in alt mode, so I can have him connected to the Commander class trailer that we got from the 86 Prime. I got Quake, who I wasn't sure about getting, but he looks quite nice, and the plastic quality is really good on him. I like the fact that he comes with the double target master, and and then Vector Prime, because I had the original, don't have it anymore. Just like the character, and how many figures have you got with big, great hunking swords? So
he's a good figure.
Thank you. Yeah, indeed. Looking forward to playing a bit more with him.
Thank you very much, Rohan. Yes, he's an exceptionally very good figure. Happy birthday to Nikki James. I think it was a couple of days ago, and she got herself some golden blockies. Good choice there, blockies. Well done. Hopefully you open them all, unlike Bisto there. So. Bisto, you like that with all stuff? Does that include like chocolates and I don't know?
No,
cakes?
just with blockies, and about 2,000 D&D miniatures. But that's just a model collecting thing. They're just sitting in boxes and not made or painted. So,
Sam, what have you picked up this week?
I made him jump.
Is that attractive, man?
Oh God. I didn't actually get anything, so I'm going to slightly lie, and hopefully no one notices. The last thing I got, Transformer wise, was that beauty.
Oh, that is good.
And I love him. It's a weird connection from the toy, not anything on cartoons or comics or anything, but this is one of the toys that I had the most memories of playing with as a kid. So I've got a real affection to it because of that, and it really is good. I mean, it's got a few oddities with the feet aren't great, but it is cool. I do really, really like it. Yeah. So that's the last thing I got. I got it a couple of weeks ago. And then
I'll tell you a story. May Lynn, she had the Power Master Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
And she used to have tea parties with a Little Pony collection and Care Bears with the Power Master Optimus Prime. And when I first started collecting Transformers, she still had her G1 Optimus Prime with all the accessories, and she threw it out.
No,
she didn't even tell me. Because she was like, "But you're buying all these new toys, James. Why would you want an old one?" I was like,
Oh, Maylin, the next time I see you, I'm not going to be your friend anymore.
That's heartbreaking, isn't it? Oh. And something else, technically, I can call it a pickup because I haven't had them for many, many, many years. But my parents were clearing out parts of the loft as they do and found lots of things. So part of it was my old VHS collection. These are just 2 of them, but so I've got all the old VHS. She even kept the player. So in the box, there's the old VHS player and all the tapes.
Sam, I've just got a word of warning for you. Just remember, you were a teenage at some point, so just double check those videotapes to make sure.
Oh God! But there's some gems. I think there's 7 of these. There's Mask. There's Ghostbusters. There's the 2 Turtle films. Star Wars. So they were quite cool to look at. There's a whole bunch of stuff she's finding up there of old, toys and everything like that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And that's it.
Didn't you get some golden blockies this week as well?
I did. Well, last week I think. Yeah, I did. I've just done one.
Hey.
Although his head's a bit weird, it doesn't quite go down. It's a bit high. I can't get it.
Got a big neck.
Yeah, big neck.
Yeah, I think that mold has a big neck, to be fair to it.
Right. And I can't get that. You can't see very well, but I can't get the head to go together.
Because what I sometimes do is I get the bit which I don't want to damage, and I press it on a hard surface, like obviously with cloth and that, just to hear that little bit of a click, etc.
they do. Some of them really need force, don't they, to put together some of the bits?
Yeah.
I find, and if you press them together, as you say, without a cloth, or it bloody hurts.
I know.
After you've built one,
Women
your
don't
hands
appreciate
hurt.
it. Yeah, women don't appreciate it. The pain we go through as Transformer collectors, or any
know.
partners don't appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
sometimes we even bleed.
Yeah, it's tough. It is. It's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so they're fun. I mean, they do look good. I've only built 3. I need to build the others, but yeah, they are. They just don't quite go together as well, or bits of them just don't quite go in. I don't know if that's the paint or something, maybe. But,
Yeah, because I think the gold plastic was breaking a bit as well. So a lot of it, you still have gold plastic, but a lot of parts will be painted gold just to be stronger.
I assumed they were all painted, but maybe they are just plastic. I can never tell. But anyway, they're cool. The most impressive bit about those is the packaging. It's just they're all packaged so well, but all of them are, to be fair. Yeah.
That's another thing I've got against is the packaging, but you feel like you have to rip it open to open it. And I wish the packaging was a lot more delicate, but you could just open it. Nice
Well,
and clean.
these ones, the boxes are lids, they're not stuck down.
Yeah.
So that's good. But the other ones, you have to just rip apart, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got my golden hero blockies.
The what one? Sorry.
The hero characters class from blockies, non-Transformers, so I haven't shown them in the show. Or did I? I can't remember. I might have done.
Oh, was that
Spider-Far. Oh, Bisto is Bisto coming back in? Yeah. Is he trying to get his
I'll boot it out.
All right. Spider Father, what have you picked up this week?
Well, I've got a screen to share if you do the honours.
Oh yeah, will do.
So it's mostly new releases for me this week. I've already put up pictures for DK2 Guard, which is an Ironhide repaint. So quite an old figure that Takara's brought out of mothballs.
Yep.
And giving it a new colour scheme, which is really nice. And they've got tempos for some of the details, but they also come with a sheet of stickers, which were the details from the original G1 toy. So I've applied those as well. And he comes with the face that you used to get on the chair on the G1 figure, and also as a bit of card you can stick in his chest. But as well as him, I also got this ticket. Well, you say something, Jamie?
See that? Yeah, see that card that looks like a face. Is that paying homage to the original Ironhide, where the face was?
Yeah, to the original G1.
Same as this face, because they painted it the same as that one. So you can have it as a regular face or as a something in the chest. It's just a shame that the head doesn't fold away on this toy.
Yeah.
But then I got Lift Ticket.
Oh wow!
Who is a repaint of Hoist, and this one has the G1 or Diaclone toy head and the fins, whereas Hoist comes with the cartoon head and cartoon fins. And he's a bit awkward just because of the way Hoist's body shape is, but I found you can get quite a lot of decent poses out of him if you try. He's got this as a new accessory, which Hoist didn't have. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but it's decent. He can look exasperated. He can do some fixing work. Oh, a finger slipped. He can rescue Predacons who get stuck up too high with his extendable arms. And he can give him a telling off.
Nice.
And then I managed to get hold of this, which I've been trying to get hold of for ages. It's one of the harder to find studio series, which is from the Bumblebee movie. And it's just the regular Camaro Bumblebee, but it comes with all these extra bits, so you can trick him out to be a hot rod.
That's cool. I've never seen that before. Is that Little Charlie?
Yeah, it's Little Charlie. Like I say, it was really hard to come by when it was released, and it's taken me this long just to get hold of it. But it's number 15. I don't know if that's just because it's a Bumblebee and they've given it that number, but this is the first time I've been able to get hold of one for a decent price because they can go for silly money. And then like Bisto, got my G2 breakdown, which I really like.
Awesome colours.
I have seen, I think it was Non-F, trying to do an upgrade kit to change the backpack so that it actually looks like a Contash. But the problem they've been having is they can't match the color. Whatever plastic Hasbro's used, and they can't replicate it. So if they put the upgrade part on, it really stands out and it looks a bit weird. So they're still working on it. And also Armada Wheeljack in the Takara colors, which is lovely black, and the blue really pops.
So does the gold. Yeah, really good.
Especially with the weapons. It's just a shame that we still don't have mini-cons for all these Armada figures that are coming out, and we know molds for some of them exist. So Hasbro just needs to release a box set with nothing but mini-cons in it, and it would sell buckets. And this is how I got for my birthday. Has anyone seen this before?
Yeah,
you're all of a certain age, so you might have done.
Very rare. Very rare.
Yeah, I got this for my birthday. I'm quite pleased with it. The electronics don't work, and so it doesn't actually walk, because it could walk in robot mode and it could roll in vehicle mode. But it's got all of its other accessories and it's in really good nick. So
especially with the box, that's very rare.
Yeah. So Miracle did a really good job getting me one of these. And it's got rubber tires, it's got chrome. It's a bit quite hefty. Yeah, I mean the roof bits come off and then they get added to the legs, but that's for later on. But that is that.
Do you think you could fix that one to make it work? If you said the electronics.
I've been thinking about getting a junker, because there's an awful lot of junkers online, and then I could open that up and have a route around and see how it works, and that might be a way to get around it.
I reckon you could probably transfer the electronic gubbins from one to another if you found a junker that was working. Yeah.
I mean, I've built a Galaxy Man from scratch from various broken figures before, so I can do it. But one last thing, which I had to hand, Bisto, there is an upgrade set where you can get 2 spoiler bits breakdown.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think they're doing them in the G2 colors yet, but it comes with like the old toy guns that go on vehicle mode.
That's great.
So I'm going to keep an eye out for that. I'll let you know if I see one.
They might have trouble matching the color of plastic then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what I managed to pick up this week was basically, and for some reason, yes, I just picked up this bad boy. That's all. From the Borky's box set 6, the chase figure, which is basically IDW Orion packs in blue. Ooh. As I've said before, I'm glad I didn't get the chase figure, because I really do prefer IDW Optimus Prime in red. But I do like the look of this chase figure, so I decided to manage to get this one and buy it separately, which was quite good. Saved myself some money for buying boxes, only to find no chase figure inside. I do wish we didn't have to worry about it. I do wish the chase figures just came in the box sets as well, or you could pay for how would I put it, a more exclusive box set, maybe, which would guarantee that. For some reason I removed myself from the stage, which was easier to do. Also,
I thought I was going to go full road then.
The song until everyone came back.
Right. So bear with me, because I'm basically doing everything which is trying to show all these wonderful comments which are on there, like Skywalk's comment. Actually, Skywalk back comments a bit pish. You could have said something better. I don't know why I picked that. Dave, that's another pish. All these comments are pish. I don't get it. And Dave was talking about, what's this BW2 Galvatron? Is I don't even know. Must be in chat.
My little Beast Wars 2 Galvatron that lift tickets.
Oh. All right. Okay, so that explains that. But I wanted to show just a very quick video. It's only a minute long, so it should have your attention span. There's no need to start like losing the will to live. Just behind the scenes. I know Sam's already going on, because I've already shown it to Sam, and he's went, "Oh God, it's awful, Jamie."
did not.
But that's because you're a nice guy, Sam. But I read between the lines.
No, I gave you some very good
You were
ideas of what to do with said content. So
You said, don't show it again. I think your number one comment was, don't show it again.
Stay on your ass.
I'm going to post the conversation now.
The sexy one. Yeah. But, you know, I will say this, and when I'm doing toy photography, sometimes when you're on the air and you're on live, it's too easy just to blurt stuff and say stuff which doesn't make sense. And I think for me, when I did toy photography, it always helped just seeing, even for a brief second, or someone's photo or behind the scenes of what they do, because you can get so much information from that and give you an idea on what that person does and how they do it. Because there's no point talking about apertures, light, reflection, diffraction, and reflection when that stuff could just go over your head, or you don't understand in what context I'm entirely talking about because I'm the one not explaining it properly enough. But hopefully by just looking at this minute video, you just get to see an idea of how some of these scenes could be set up. Let's build a scene. Add some sand and rocks. Change the sky. What else do we need? More rocks. Now we need blockies. Swoop will be our hero. A great representation of a character. Now we need a villain. Kickback, like all blockies, comes with accessories. Let's swap hands and add a weapon. Place our characters and take the photograph. And you can see, but there was only one light which was directly facing the figure, so I had other lights facing away. So it was basically bouncing off the walls, which are quite light, so it's quite good. But you might have noticed on those lights, I've been using grease paper, you know, to filter out the harshness of the light, so it's a much softer bounce. Grease paper, because it's nice and cheap, and you know, it can deal with very high temperatures. Much better than paying for the posh equivalents, which cost a fortune. I use this device. Now, this is not some crude sex toy. No, this is what I call my light diffuser or light blocker. So when I've got some light, which is a bit too harsh, because I don't have the fancy lights where I can always decrease the sort of how strong the light is. Of course, with a lot of box lights, I can. But sometimes you can't, or even you just don't have the time and you don't want to fiddle around. I could use this guy, and what will happen, he allows the light to go through, but he will make it even less harsh. And I've also got other ones set up, you know, to block out usually 90% of the light, or completely block it out. And I'll just hold it over the figure where the light's coming from, or maybe the light's too strong even when it's reflected, you know, because it bounces off weird in certain plastics, and I'll use something like this. So this is just an idea, and I just thought when you're working with light, especially if you start to use a digital camera, sometimes it's about reducing the light. With a mobile phone, you're kind of trained to put as much light as possible to get that picture. With a digital camera, it's about using the light much more different, you know. And also, because I'm quite lazy with the screens, you know, with my monitors, I tend to have it quite bright. You know, with a lot of good toy photographers, they'll decrease the monitor, you know, to create a better backlight. Where I don't do that because I'm lazy and I just don't mess things up. And I'll, you know, something I need to work on better. But I work on other things of like increasing the exposure to deal with the backlight. For example, if the backlight's quite strong, I'll increase the exposure to handle that, if that means anything to anyone. Basically, what you want to do is get that digital camera, take that photo, and have it match as closest to what your eye see. And you can't really go far wrong with that. And if that means increasing exposure, do so. You know, because I think sometimes people are worried about increasing the exposure because you'll increase the noise, but you really don't actually, not that vastly. You know, you tend to increase the noise by ISO, but that's something else. But hopefully that just gives you a little insight into toy photography and working with a diorama.
I've got a
Anyone like to
question
ask me a
about your
question?
rocks.
Yeah,
Those rocks, are they actual rocks or are they prop rocks that you've made?
they're pop rocks that I've made and badly painted. The other rocks which you saw in the background are taken from things like fish stores and pet stores.
Yeah, okay.
So they're much more resilient. And I have got some real rocks which I use. The trouble with them, they look gorgeous, but if a figure drops on it, like if it's a Hasbro figure, you know, it could be damaged, or a masterpiece, it could be damaged because the rocks are quite sharp. But when it comes to those rocks, which I've made just from foam, although they don't look good, you know, anything dropped against that, it's fine. And some pet stores also have foam rocks as well. And you can also get stuff which people use for tabletop gaming, foamed rocks, which are quite good. So they'll protect your figures if they fall against them, and I would fully recommend them. And to be honest, even the fish tank stuff, our stuff for lizards and, you know, reptiles, they tend to be, if you buy good quality rocks and ornaments, they tend to, they're strong, but they don't have harsh surfaces on them or harsh edges. So they tend to be much better to use as well. So you just got to be kind of careful. That's real sand. The sand I use is from, you know, basically manual work, or you're going to be filling your sort of driveway, the cracks and stuff like that. And I also tend to use other products as well, like moss. Moss is a good filler. You know, fill in the gaps if there's something you can't fill in, or the edges, etc. You'll notice before I started there, I had lots of overalls out, you know, because when it comes to tidying up, it's much easier just to grab all the sand together and, you know, put it back.
Do you get much issue with reflection off the monitor at the back?
None.
No.
No, it was a Samsung TV, and but how to say it without sounding like an arse? Most new TV sets don't reflect because people live in bright houses now.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and they all have anti-reflection surfaces, so you make sure it's got good anti-reflective surface. That I got on sale for something like £400. It's probably a better TV. Oh, it's 50. I think it's 55-inch. Approaching maybe 60. Yeah, so it's. I didn't want too big. I mean, because I've got a bigger TV downstairs, but that's actually a better TV, which I've got in my office. Trouble is, you get too big, you know, it starts to. It's harder to work with. But yes, it's a good size. It's a good size. I would say 55-inch is an ideal size for most figures, all the way up to leader class, to even starting to hit towards Titan class. You know, if you're thinking about that. But the good thing about working with a monitor is you can change the pictures in the background. You can have it up to your tablet connected, so you can adjust it and adjust the size. Yeah, I've actually got it connected to a PC.
Yeah, okay.
So I can change things. For example, if I'm looking at a photo and there's a cloud formation, which sometimes is a bit awkward, I can edit on the spot and remove it. You know, so just to make it better. One trick I would say when you're using backgrounds, it's always worth to, with the backgrounds, is to blur them slightly or noise reduction them. You know, especially if you're zooming up. So when it looks in your photograph, it looks even more in the distance than it actually is. And best tip for backgrounds is with your computer games, playing your RPGs or your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox or your Switch, is take screenshots of the backgrounds. And that way you're not infringing in someone else's work. And you're just using the backgrounds from the games you've been playing. So it gives myriad of different toys. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy is a good one. Final Fantasy games, etc. Skyrim, you name it. All these sort of big open world RPGs, brilliant. Especially when they've got Photoshop mode, because they can blur and tilt the photos and stuff like that. There. Sorry about that. Not been looking at everything. So
Yep,
the next
and
bit is
I was going to say, Dickie has asked, have you been on a photography course?
no. And that's maybe why it's taken me a couple of years just to figure out
Self-taught.
exposure.
Yeah. It's all self-taught.
It's
isn't it?
impressive. What you've done, yeah, is brilliant, and for sharing that as well, fantastic.
I'll happily talk over a pint of beer at TF Nation until you want to escape for running terror for your life about toy photography and stuff like that. So sorry, just getting back into what we were doing. We did pickups. Now for sexy foreplay.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. They'll think you want to join in.
Well, we've got foreplay, and it's all about Grails. What's that one Grail which you thought you never got, and you've got, and it's your pride and joy. It makes you happy just by looking at it. Obviously, you know, it has the same chemical reaction as you look at your partner, the one that you love the most, even if it's your handsome. You know, it's that kind of thing. So,
I'm not married, you don't know. I just haven't told you.
Oh, you've probably got a myriad of names, princesses and stuff like that. Actually, I didn't mean to single you out. I just said so. I'm sorry. Well done. Yeah. So, what Grails do we have? And we're just I'm going to pick the random one, the one person who's not prepared. Rohan, what Grail do you have in your collection?
I thought about this. I thought about it long and hard. And for me, the one that took me a long time to achieve, I haven't got it here because it's too big, to be honest with you. It's upstairs in my Transformers room. I think I spent 15 or 20 years searching for this figure before I was able to afford it. It was a figure that I think all of us probably really wanted when we were younger and was not available in the UK. 2 foot tall, is the Generation 1 Fortress Maximus figure. Oh, wow. I remember going to Auto Assembly back in the day and seeing a couple of them up for sale. You know, back in those days, we're talking about 2004, 2005, 2006. They were like £400, £500, £600 in those days, and thinking one day I'll be able to afford this thing. And eventually I managed to pick up a Japanese reissue of the G1 Fort Max, and he's up there looking in all his glory up on the top of my display cabinet. Really love it. I mean, it's a big old figure, right? It's not the kind of thing you get down and play with, but it looks great, looks glorious, and it's just that sort of really quite hard to find figure that you don't see every day.
Do you know, I've actually been in Rohan's room to see all these, and yes, he was away. I didn't break into his house in the middle of the night. It's a gorgeous display. I know he's updated it since then, so I need to go back to see it. What he needs to do, though, is he's been using it as a storage room as well, haven't you? You know, so he needs to get rid of there. And what he needs to have is a couch, preferably a 2-seater, you know, so we could both just sit there. Obviously, you need a side table. Yeah, cuddles, because, you know, it's a wonderful sight to behold. And when you're looking at a wonderful sight like that, you can't get any better than hold another masculine man in a romantic embrace, because that's what you need to do. And yes, I definitely need to come back and see that. But you need to get that 2-seater and a 3-seater. We could have a threesome, you know, just sitting back and just looking at that wonderful collection. Very much like Sam's room, which is always gorgeous, and I'm always so jealous of that. You know.
You're welcome anytime, Jamie.
Sam, thank you, Rohan. Samsformers, what have you got? What's your Grail?
So I think I might have mentioned it before. I don't think it's nothing that is, I doubt, that hard to have got, but it's one that I never had when I was a kid. It's my favourite character from the cartoon, so I bought it. I don't know how many years ago. I can't really. It's him.
Ooh, G1 Jet.
Yeah. Which, oddly enough, I bought quite a few years ago, and it was off Russ, unknowingly at the time, that I bought it from. That I didn't know back then. But yeah, it was one that I never had. and I've mentioned it, but one of my strongest memories as a kid playing with the toys is the friend of mine that came round when he got his one, and we, and he brought it round to show me, and I never had it, so I always remember that gun. I always wanted it. So when I started collecting again, I thought, well, I'm gonna get that, and yeah, that's the one. It's in a cupboard. I don't have it on display, but it's the one I wouldn't get rid of. It would be the last one.
Have you taken it out? Have you taken it out the box?
Did when I first got it. I did take it out, but it's been in there ever since. Yeah. I got it out once, and I think I must have. Yeah, I transformed it once, I think, just to have a look and take a few pictures, and then put it away and in his little home for the rest of his life. That's
Sam. You should definitely come back on to talk about your photography, because you do some really exceptionally good photos, especially on Instagram and TikTok with all the hipsters. So that's something you should talk about someday.
I don't do as much effort as your displays, though. I have to say, I would. I'll talk about it. I like taking. My dad was a photographer, or is. Sorry, and he has been.
Yes.
So I've always grown up around that, and it was a rock photographer he did, but I've always been around cameras and never used to be that interested in it. And then this is because of all this, I really got more interested in it. So yeah, I'll be up for it. But yeah, Jetfire, Skyfire. I don't know which one is the right way round, but Skyfire for me, that's my favourite toy. Yeah.
So I have to pick Jetfire then. Thank you for making my decision clear. I wasn't sure myself, but since you went for Skyfire, now I know it's definitely Jetfire. Yeah, Jetfire is. Thanks, Sam, for clearing that up.
Right.
Spider Father. What Grail? Oh.
Well, I had to think hard about this, because past couple of years I've been doing nothing but get my Grails. So I went for something that's got a bit of sentimental value to it, which is the BotCon RC, which Sue Blue signed 2 Spider Father, 4 Spider Hunt. So that is one of my
that's cool
super Grail things that I absolutely adore. But I could have picked the Beast Wars Days of Futures Past. I could have picked the G1 Minerva I got a couple of years ago. There's just so many. There's so many good things in my collection that I just want to shout about.
Do you think, Spider Father, that you could potentially fall asleep tonight in a cold sweat, wake up, realizing I should have picked this one? I can't believe I didn't say this one because you've got so many Grails.
Well, no, because I can save them for my own channel.
When Spider Father eventually launches, and another thing, Spider Father is also on Instagram and on Blue Sky, exceptional photography, and he also does a lot of wonderful descriptions about each of his figures, goes through the history as well. So it's like it's like a wiki online. Well, wiki is online. It's like a wiki in live in real time, something like wiki.
A lot of people don't know every single Transformer that's ever been released like I do, so you need to educate them in case they want to learn more and they want to start collecting that particular bit of the franchise.
Bisto, what's your Grail?
Right, I'm going to invite you all to come in the way back in time machine with me. We might make references to the 80s if that's okay. So
love the 80s.
It was the mid-80s. We're in the height of Transformers fever. The movies coming out, the comic books, Target 2006. There's a character in these Marvel comic books called Impactor. Now, we would be with my classmates discussing Transformers as we did, and one of our main sources of Transformers knowledge at the time was the comic book, because you'd get the Wackaday during the school holidays, but during the school it'd be the comic book that'd be out, and we'd be reading through that, and maybe we'd be maybe during a break where we'd have a glass of free school milk, and
a glass. They actually poured it into you went to private school, you push.
A bottle.
Is this an accent you use fake? Is this a fake accent you put on and you're just really posh and you just rough it up?
What's a bottle of milk made out
I
of,
was kidding
Jamie?
the car. Bottle of milk.
Yeah, a bottle of milk's made out of glass.
Cartons of warm milk, which made you want to. Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, we had glass bottles, right? We could trust us not to glass each other. And yeah, we'd be discussing it, and there'd be that one kid who'd always swear blind that he owned Impactor. That he'd been to Japan or on his holiday, on his school holidays, and he'd bought an
Impactor.
and he'd bought an Impactor figure. And being when it was, and we didn't have much access to the there was no internet, and there's no way we could actually look this up and disprove it. And when it came to bring your toys to school day, for some reason his parents had told him, no, you definitely can't bring that toy into school.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
But and we knew for a fact that there were Transformers that we couldn't get in the UK because we couldn't get Swoop, half the Pretenders, so we knew there were missing parts of the Transformers line. So we didn't know at the time that there wasn't an Impactor figure. So I've always wanted Impactor. I've always, in that time 2006, I was really kind of like taken back by his sacrifice, and then the zombie part, and then I've always been like really kind of loved the Wreckers, loved Impactor. So my Grail, much like the Holy Grail, was something that didn't exist. So eventually came MMC's Spartan. Now, Nick Roach was also a child of the 80s, who grew up reading the 80s comic book, and once he was able to write a story for IDW to get his own little subline, he'd done some like Spotlight Cup and done the art for some of the other factions. He was like, I'm doing the Wreckers, I'm bringing Impactor into IDW, and then MMC then have come along, have made a version of him, and so for me that was my Grail. That was my kind of like, this is a dream given form in plastic. And yeah, so that is kind of just so pleased that has eventually, after waiting so much of my lifetime to eventually have an Impactor, was just an absolutely Grail-like experience.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, my Grail, and to be honest, it's like I think there's a lot of figures I can say which I really enjoy, and I could almost say Grail, but I don't like to say the word Grail because sometimes I often think it's often overused. It's something which is very bright and it's caught your attention there and then. But my Grail, and this was bought last year at TF Nation, and he's still in his. I haven't opened them yet. I've just been waiting for the right time.
Now,
maybe Armageddon, I don't know, but I just love looking inside the box, and I'm obviously going to be getting this office here decorated and my bedroom decorated, so I've got to think about potential display, or do I want everything just closed up and sealed away in cupboards and look a generic dull office room like you see in these sci-fi shows, but I'm just not sure. And but I do know, but what's that?
How are you with applying stickers?
I'm very bad because I don't know if you noticed the video. My hands shake quite a bit, so I'm absolutely dreadful.
Those stickers that you see on the trailer, they're fake. They're actually stuck to the inside of the plastic window. When you take them out,
oh my god, it's a lie! I've been looking at a lie.
You haven't got to buy them yourself.
no, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Keep them in the box.
Keep them in the box.
That was my first Star Convoy, because he's got like chrome for the star, whereas the original one was just like plain yellow. So he's improved, and I think the metal's sparkly metal silver plastic instead of just plain grey. He's really nice. But yeah, I was surprised because I opened it, I took off the plastic tray and the stickers came with it. And I thought, fuck, what have I done? But no, it's packaged like that.
Well, Spider Father, there's some children who don't know about fucking Father Christmas yet. Maybe you might just want to go and tell them. Dreams shattered live on air. You know, desperation. Yeah, heartbreak, real true heartbreak. Screw this foreplay. Now we're meant to talk about our Grails, which we probably won't ever get, and that's a Grail where the stickers are applied. So that's my Grail now sorted. I wasn't really sure, you know. But yes, Samsformers, give me a Grail which you don't think you'll get.
Oh, I was thinking about this earlier. I don't know. Okay, one, it's maybe not a Grail, but something I probably wish I would have got. I think I could still get, but it'd be a lot of money. Is the Haslab Unicron?
Yeah,
I don't know where I would have put it, and I know you can probably get it now at a very high price. So, but I probably wish I'd have got that. So maybe that one. I don't know Grail wise. I can't think of anything that I don't think I could get. But yeah, I'll go with that. That was the one I kept thinking about this afternoon. Is the Unicron? Just
my biggest regret was transforming that Unicron into robot mode because I can't get it back into planet mode in the line it perfectly. It's so annoying. You have to start again. I need to kidnap Dan Stater, or Devastator, whatever he calls it, Dan Stater. You know, he always transforming stuff in TF9. Maybe I can just roll up with my Unicron to TF Nation, just leave it on the table and watch him transform it.
Do that,
Big hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably one. I
Okay, Bisto. That was a good choice there, Sam. Bisto, what Grail do you think you have missed out on and you won't get?
I think I'm good. You know, I think there's some figures I'd like to have that I could get if I was prepared to pay the price that they're for. You know, and I probably could pay it, but it's like bit of a waste of money that. So I think I'm going to stick with the lesson that I learned from watching Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail is that sometimes chasing after your Grail just leads to death and destruction, and you should cherish the moments that you have with the people that feel special to you.
Great sentiment.
And not to trust Austrian chicks with blonde hair and blue eyes. Yeah, that's the lessons you should learn.
Yeah.
And book burning's a bad thing as well. But yeah, Indiana Jones full of lessons, you know. And men, we could use whips in a non-sexual way as well.
And always punch Nazis.
Yeah. Punching Nazi, whipping Nazi. You know, which they, well, yeah. No, but yeah. Especially the good World War II ones when they were intelligent, you know, and evil, you know. Yeah. Not the ones now who are just so thick. But yes, Rohan, what Grail have you got you're missing out on?
So Sam stole mine. I was going to do Haslab Unicron, but
you can have it too. We'll get one together.
No,
you can have that too.
You keep it. I am going to pick another one.
I'll loan it to you. You can transform it for me.
All you need to do is take Paul's family to Japan, and you can have one. I believe.
Trade it for an old PC or some old computer games. No, I was thinking about characters that I would really like to see, which have actually not had a good toy just yet. And I thought about this guy up here, Ultra Magnus. The Studio Series 86 character is a really good toy. I really like that. I'd love to see G2 or G1, if you want to call it 1.5, Thunder Clash done as an updated, new designed toy that's actually transformable. Well, that you're not going to break as soon as you touch him because of the gold plastic syndrome. That's my Grail, which I'm worried that I'm never going to be able to get because I'm I'm a little bit sad that Hasbro haven't done it yet, but hopefully, fingers crossed, Hasbro's watching this show because this is the show to watch. So they
you've picked a Grail, it doesn't even exist. Well played.
Yes,
well
I
played,
have.
Rohan.
Yeah.
Well played. Spider Father, what Grail do you think you won't be able to get?
Well, it's availability more than cost when it comes to a Grail. So something that is incredibly rare because it's limited. There's only a couple of them, or even one. I would love to get my hands on the clear orange Tarantulas prototype that was used in the original Beast Wars Deluxe Toys advert.
Wow.
Oh, it's very specific.
I've never seen one for sale, but then to be honest, I haven't spent the last 20 plus years of collecting looking for one. But if that ever showed up anywhere, I would be on that like a shot.
You should do a post on social media.
I should.
What would you be willing to pay, do you reckon, for something like that?
That's between me and the seller. I'm not showing my hand. I'm not showing my hand early.
Because I think we've had a discussion before, but we have said that sometimes Grails have jumped up in price because people have bought it who don't actually have a love of the toy, but bought it as an investment.
Yeah, that's happening a lot now. You've got investors who are buying something that they, based on the description, like a boxed AFA G1 Megatron that's never been opened. They're paying $40,000 for that because they reckon it's going to appreciate in value amongst other people like them that are just buying something that they think is expensive. Whereas we, the people to whom something like that actually matters, aren't going to pay that kind of money because we can get reissues or we can get a slightly damaged one that's a bit cheaper. And it's a status symbol more than it is an actual thing that a person wants to own.
Absolutely.
I just wonder if it's one of those scenarios where you buy these. I wonder if it's a collector who's bought something like that, sealed in box, left it out only for their kid to come along and just rip it open and not realise.
Can you imagine?
It'd be very enjoyable to watch that. The home video. Yeah. But yeah, that's a pity. And I often think, sometimes there's people who are chasing after things just because it's valuable rather than it means something to you. It's sentimental. It's a joyride. It's a story like Spider Father putting it across. It's because it's the Beast Wars figure he saw in an advert. Samsformers talking about the Unicron. Rohan talking about something that doesn't even exist yet. It's just a dream that used to be Rome, and he has to look far into the distance for it to ever realise. But it won't ever happen. It will happen, Rohan. You have got the Mastermind Creations Thunder Clash, which is, I know, not the same thing, but at least he's been, developed as a character. Fansob is a good one as well. Yeah,
it's just too
but
big.
You want that G1. Oh my! I was just thinking, a Thunder Clash missing link. Do you think people would be selling their souls for that?
They're going to do a Thunder Clash missing link, and they want to do Big Bang Convoy because he was more or less the same toy.
That would be very.
But you want a Thunder Clash? I know you want a Thunder Clash. Well, that comes. Oh, did I pick Bisto? Did you pick? No, you've.
No, I refused.
Yeah. Yeah, you.
What about
because you said you were happy.
Zombie Impactor. What about a figure of zombie?
I'd like a zombie impactor figure, but I've also got a commissioned piece of artwork of Nick Roach drawing a zombie impactor, and that kind of scratches the itch, really, rather than a figure. So that's. I think sometimes I like getting a bit of artwork instead, rather than actual figure.
That's cool.
Tick my boxes.
Well, now for Social Corner, been perhaps the sexiest intro ever created for a Transformers show.
My Amish friends call me Lorna. I'm coming out of the fauna. If my cat died, I would mourn her. It's time for Social Corner.
That has got to be unfortunate. I'm just going to remove him just now from there because it's just a bit unfortunate. But that screen's gone, and I will, because I'm benevolent, I will cut that bit out. Sure, I will go and edit that tonight as well. You know, because I've got you, Lee. We all here. Yes, that video was originally 2 hours long, but we managed to convince Paul to cut that stare down. I tell you, there's a lot of arguing involved in that. No, Paul, and now it's too long as well. 30 minutes is Paul. 2 minutes. No. 30 seconds. Anyway, it's now for Social Corner. And when Spider-Father is back, I will pop him back in there. Just give me a warning when he does. So looking at the internet through a trusted team of Paul, Andy, myself, and again Pete again, we all look for some of the best I wouldn't say best is not fair, to be honest. It is exceptional work. There always is in Socials Corner, but it's just something that just grabs your attention. And sometimes it's the algorithm, it's your biggest enemy, because you sometimes need to go searching for that different picture, that different image you like to see. But here, when I first looked at this, I just thought, gorgeous. And on his actual Instagram page, he has some photos behind the scenes, so you get to see how he actually took this photo. But it does look like a painting.
It does, doesn't it? I thought it
absolutely
was
brilliant. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah. But this is exceptional.
How to get the light?
And I really. And you want to check it on Instagram and see what he actually done.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like Livio Rondelli. Was it the artist who?
Cybertron War on Twitter. So if you could bear yourself to go in there for a couple of seconds, grab his Instagram, and then move on.
I found it.
Awesome. Now here is a young up-and-coming toy photographer called Sixo.
Oh, he's done a bit, hasn't he? I guess he's done a few.
Yeah, he's getting better. But I just saw this image. It popped up in my feed, and I just thought, I love that. I love the way he's got the orange there. I just love the colours.
Yeah.
Just an exceptional photographer to see. And it's nice to see him going places.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing his career. Maybe when he's 7-0. Maybe even.
Yeah. Upgrade. Then we've got Volks of Icon. And I don't know, this picture really... Sometimes when you take this image, and you shove it on the PC, it doesn't look as good as it does on your tablet or your monitor. And it just really shone in the tablet. It was really good in Instagram, because I think Instagram, although it's meant to be originally for photos, I think TikTok actually does the photos better than Instagram does. And I think Instagram needs to improve that, because this photo was brilliant on Instagram, because then it can show you how good. Yeah, it goes to show you how good a photo this really is.
He takes good pictures.
Yeah, Sideswipe, the homeless toy series. But yeah, brilliant there. And a blocky by chance as well.
In the MP, yeah.
Close Encounters of the Cybertronian Kind.
Yeah, that's cool.
Done by Ellie.
The cows are a nice touch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just liked it. I thought that was sweet. Copper Shots, showing a picture of the Skywarp.
Mean looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lighting.
Just go up. Yeah. Some artwork here. Windblade. Painting finished today. That's just brilliant.
Impressive.
I really love that.
Some people are good.
And then we've got some cosplay here. Sentinel Prime. I don't you think they've aced it? Because I look at Sentinel Prime's face and I want to punch it. I mean, how brilliant is that? They managed to convey that smug evilness, haven't they?
That's excellent.
So much detail in there. It's brilliant.
Yeah. That is just amazing. And from our own Lena, Transformers UK forum, showing you some sketches she did of of Sentinel Prime, and I just thought it was great seeing the layout and how they done it and how it evolved into that. So thank you for that. Some excellent stuff there from Social Corner.
Very good.
Now, this is the big thing. for tonight's discussion, we're talking about Hasbro, and we're thinking about, should Hasbro bring back profiles and the tech stats which used to be on the boxes? Now, we all could discuss the reasons for and against, which I hope we do, so people watching the back at home will fully understand. Then we can decide what we would actually want. But that's the discussion.
We now return to the Transformers.
So, does anyone want to start us off?
I'll start because I've got some slides.
Oh,
awesome.
Ooh.
Awesome.
I think I saw a sneak peek of your slides earlier, Father.
So this was my Bible as a kid.
I've got that.
I'm sure it was the same. See, Rohan knows. So what this was, when Bob Budiansky wrote the profiles for the original Transformers, which Hasbro then truncated to stick on the back of the boxes, he just kept doing them every time a new character came out. And in America, they released a 4-issue limited series which collected all of these profiles alphabetically. And they were collected into this Transformers universe, which was called Volume 1. So as a kid, we were constantly waiting for Volume 2, which never arrived. And inside...
That's the Grail. That's the Grail.
There she is. So inside, each character would have their name, their allegiance, what their function was, when they first appeared. So usually an issue of the American comic, not the UK one, or in this case, the Transformers, the movie adaptation. They'd get a profile, then they'd get abilities, and they would go into a lot of detail. So most people didn't just have a laser gun. They would have a weapon that had a specific effect on their enemy, like it was a D&D description. How far they could go on a full tank, how many miles, what their top speed was, and what their specific weaknesses were. So it wouldn't have just been Pipes, whose weakness was being stomped on by someone much bigger than him. Everyone probably had that weakness. But poor old Huffer here is prone to severe bouts of depression, which isn't the usual thing that you might have expected. And of course, later on, Dreamwave did something very similar. And we got a bunch of profiles that we hadn't seen before because the universe didn't go that far. And then we also got one for Beast Wars, which I treasure because it is effectively giving the universe treatment to a bunch of characters who didn't get it first time round. And we also got one for Armada. So again,
cool.
Bio, weapons and abilities and weaknesses. And if you've never seen these books before, I do recommend that you go looking for them because they are an excellent read. And this is what we got on the back of the boxes. So you weren't just buying a toy, you were buying a character. Whether it was a character from the comics or a character from the cartoon, this was a person who you had. This was your buddy, your friend, or your partner in crime if it was a Decepticon. And it was essentially just a truncated version of the universe profile. And you also got this tech specs readout, which gave you specifics like strength, intelligence, speed, etc. And that carried on into Beast Wars. So you got a similar thing, and you got the stats, and also into Beast Machines. But by the time we got to Armada, they pretty much disappeared because it was in the realm now of bilingual packaging. So because they needed the space to say the same thing in half a dozen different languages, there wasn't room anymore for a profile. And we got things like these profile cards or stickers. And the question is, do we miss them? Do we want them back? And what purpose would they serve?
I don't know. Reading that, I'm just thinking maybe the British Empire should have stayed and we wouldn't have this problem. 2/3 of the planet. But yeah, I guess progression, we've had to move on.
I mean, because with G1, they were all written originally by one person, and they shared a style. And when he was creating a character, it's not like now where everyone's the fastest or everyone's the toughest or everyone's the best at everything. These characters were more human because they had flaws and they weren't always the best at fighting, or they weren't always the best at being on the ball. Some of them daydreamed all the time and crashed into telephone poles. Some of them thought toasters were real. So you had a wide variety of people. And I don't think I don't think we get that kind of granular detail anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing about Transformers with the G1 comics, which you got from the toys and the profile, but a lot of these people were very much like your soldiers, your warriors, which you encountered in the likes of, say, World War I and World War II. You know, there were bakers, there were accountants, you know, there were bank managers, there were artists, there were teachers. You know, they came from a myriad of different professions. You know, their profession wasn't war. And I think with a lot of toys, which you say, or even in comics, they sort of push the profession as the war, rather than actually the reality is that's not really the case. People come with this massive backstory where they don't. I mean, I joke about Bumblebee being useless and always aiming away from the Decepticons, but it's very likely. But it was Autobots there who didn't want to hit a Decepticon with a laser bolt or bullet or whatever, you know, because when you look at wars and real wars which are fought by these non-professional soldiers, when you think about big conflicts like World War II and World War I, so many of these shots taken by these soldiers, they didn't want to hit the other person. You know, they were saying like 50 to 70% of bullets getting fired, they were deliberately aiming not to hit someone. You know, and obviously the Axis and the Allies were always concerned about this and trying to make them hate each other, to want to harm each other. I always wondered if that was similar in Transformers, and you kind of got that with some stories, you know, where they were almost hitting on it, you know, which I think reflects more reality.
If you look at the Protector bots, most of them aren't armed with an offensive weapon. They have pistols and they have those big gun things on the back of their vehicle modes, but they're compressed air cannons or light guns which blind whoever they're pointing it at. And because they're a rescue team, that absolutely fits with the theme that they're trying to get across with their personalities, because you've got First Aid is a pacifist, you've got Streetwise who's interested in the law, you've got Groove who's just a hippie. I think the only one who's dangerous is Blades, because Blades is actually got a lot of repressed anger.
Psychopath.
Yeah.
Especially in the comic. You know.
But in that one group of 5 bots, you've already got such a diverse and interesting collection of personalities. But because Transformers lines tend not to be as massive as G1, and we understand why they can't be, it tends to be that you have the same sort of tropes every time, the same sort of characters every single time.
See, that's my baby. I've got it there.
Yeah.
I mean, every true Transformers fan should have it in arm's reach wherever they are in the household.
I've got it.
It's still in Sam.
I have it.
Got it somewhere, have you, Sam? Oh, I'm sure you do, Sam. I'm sure you do, Sam.
I'll get it if you want me to.
I'd just like to say...
I'll go and fetch it. We can stop the show and go and fetch our books if you want. It's on the bookcase Dyson safe since Bob Budiansky signed it for me.
So Spider Fathers articulated that really well for me. I think you know, another one is the Dorling Kindersley here version by Simon Furman, who we all love, the updated version here, which went into a little bit more of the lore and a little bit more on the characters as well, but it went into specifics around, you know, sub-factions and didn't go into as much detail on maybe some of the lower level characters, but certainly some of the bigger ones like Megatron and some bits like Cybertron and the City of Iacon, for example. Really good stuff there. But I do wonder if what you've all just described is exactly what I loved. It's part of the reason why I got into Transformers, is the diversity, the uniqueness of all the characters, the fact that they weren't all just war machines, etc., etc. Do you feel like in today's day and age, the way in which the toy line has transformed because of children of today having different tastes and having so much else in the world that's taking their attention away, that the kind of characters have become lost a little bit now. They're becoming a bit more generic. They're becoming a bit more kind of, you make what you want of it. It doesn't have to be set in stone. If you like the look of something, then you'll pick it up and buy it. Whereas we've grown up with a different kind of ethos. We've grown up with a character-based definition.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that might be a good point. I think until I've started reading some of the IDW stuff, and it's actually quite exceptionally good stuff. And I think IDW, I think there was a lot of characters who were breaking that mold, definitely. And I think when the toys are first released, without being fleshed out by a comic or a cartoon, you know, I think they definitely have that look about them. But I think when the comic writers get hold of them, they will start to churn it around, start to give that backstory as time allows, and you'll start to see how different these characters could move around quite exquisitely. I do think it's a problem with other franchises, because I think the sad fact is a lot of these writers don't have life experiences, where a lot of writers in the early 80s, you know, some of them had actually fought in wars. Some of them have that real experience, not a lived experience. A lived experience is sometimes a shell or a niche comment which is used to hide, you know, and be against other people's, you know, viewpoints, you know, but rather that it encompassed a greater variety of people they'd actually met. And I think that is sometimes shown through the literature that they write about. For example, when I think about military backgrounds, you know, you can see with a lot of shows, it's always about the older shows. They were always calm, even when they were angry with each other. There was always a calmness there. When future shows, sometimes I think this isn't a military, because I come from a military background, army, but you know, you've got people shouting at each other and screaming, and I'm thinking, I really like this show, but this is not reality anymore. You know, it's just, you know, this person's obviously never been on a serving deck or anything like that, because you just don't have that, you know. But yeah, I think Profiles is like Spider-Power was talking about, with this sort of a Bible there, and I just love this with the pictures, not much words on it. But yeah, yes, it gives you something to hold on to, doesn't it? And it makes that character alive. I know that Nips there, he talked about he likes the idea of comics being included, you know, but I just like the idea of something nice and basic, and like that Profile. I would love for that to be back, and I think it should be there. And I think localization be damned if that's what's holding it back. They should just, I know they've done it for other boxes. You know, you've got it there. I know it's a brief couple of sentences as they do it in other languages, but they've done it for Death's Head. They've done it for some of the crossovers, giving the hack sort of back to the days of the OG1 boxes, you know. And I want something like that back, especially the stats, because, you know, numbers are universal. They really are.
And definitely the stats, because for me, that's again where you can show uniqueness, show the differentiation between different characters, and really get into the sort of depths of one versus the other, or teams versus other teams.
Right.
I think also there's a generational divide. If you think about the cartoons linked to toy series that we used to watch as kids, the characters, the majority, 99% of the majority of the characters were adults, and they were meant to be role models for us. Whereas with modern kids shows, the characters are kids, just like the people watching the show, and they're learning it, teaching the audience the lessons by living it themselves. So the kids are relating to the actual experience of the characters rather than being taught by the characters how they should behave.
Yeah, good point.
That's very skilled writing to do that, and that's quite a hard thing to do. I think I'm watching the new Spider-Man series, and I've been quite impressed by the writing there. You know, I've only watched 5 episodes in, but I think the new Spider-Man TV series is really good, and I like the stories going involved there. So there's a lot of hope for that show.
I just feel that we've got, obviously, I think multilingual packaging is here to stay. But I think every figure should be, you know, the packaging, whether it's in the instructions or somewhere on the package, there should be that QR code. And obviously TF Wiki is unofficial. But like with the the profiles, all the information that is on that they have on Transformers are owned by Hasbro. So they really need to, as they keep pushing themselves that they're a digital first company, is get a bloody Transformers archive on the internet so that when people buy a Transformer, they can scan a QR code, it will go to that character's profile online, and they will be able to read about that and maybe even have some little bits of a comic which they were in to just have a little kind of display of who that character is.
I think that's a great shot.
It's not like there's only a very small percentage of new characters they're making at the moment.
Yeah.
Everyone else has got as a storied and historic Transformer character.
I think that's a great shout, Bisto, and they could do this as a tie-in to some of the games that are out there, like Transformers Earth Wars or whatever is the latest game that's coming out. Tie into all the content that's been created by that game to bring the two together and do exactly that.
The thing is, they've done it already. They did it during Cybertron because with Hasbro, when you bought your Cybertron toy with the Cyber Key, on the back it had a code. You went online, typed it into the website, and you would get a profile, but you'd also get concept art and other bits and pieces, just like Bisto wanted. Yeah. So Hasbro has done it. They can do it. They just need to
be consistent.
Yeah.
Wasn't a situation where a toy had a code and kids scanned it and it took them to a porn site? There was a mistake.
Yeah, there was some packaging.
Yeah, it took them to a porn site, so they had to recall the toy. I
think it was a chance
at least.
But slug. It was slug. It was definitely slug.
I can understand this sort of digital argument. You know, get the QR code, especially with a lot of tablets, because a lot of kids are on YouTube now watching toy reviews and watching other people now. You know, YouTube.
There could even be there could even be a stop motion transformation sequence on there.
Yeah, and there's lots of influencers that would happily do that kind of stuff for Hasbro. Hasbro's got so much talent out there that they could grab to do that. Even diorama photos from Scottish people who are very old. But yeah, I do think taking away from technology, because I do think sometimes there's a lot of kids who are not going to have access to that type of mobile phone technology when they get a toy. And it could also be down to economic circumstances. It could also be down to safety now, because a lot of people are moving away from using digital devices and giving it to children. In fact, when you look at countries like Singapore and Australia, they have really taken away digital devices to be used in schools because of the way it's affecting eyesight. You know, and now they've done that, eyesight is now getting better in youth again, because eyesight was deteriorating very fast, with a lot of children starting to require surgery. So there's a bit of a pushback and a justified pushback against these type of devices, tablets, mobile phones, etc. So sometimes maybe you want is something which is good. You need a good light to see it. You're not peering at a screen. It's tangible. You can all read it. You know, it's open to everyone because you can see it there and then. Maybe Hasbro should go back to localization again, where you've got different companies in different regions who produce, you know, those toys. Because when we buy things from Takada, let's be honest, you know, their language is basically for that region. They're going to be using Japanese, sometimes basic Chinese as well. Maybe some Taka sometimes used. And I think we should be also doing that. You know, I think we should maybe bring that sort of back, you know, or at least be an insert, something that could be inserted in. And I know the only trouble with that is it could increase the prices of the boxes. So as collectors, would you be willing to pay more for that touch?
Well,
of profile
as a collector, I've got a mobile phone device.
Yeah.
So, if it's aimed at a collector's line, then I don't think there's no problem having a QR device, is there? But if it's aimed at the children's line, then yeah, need more information.
I mean, for
There's
something like
two
Legacy,
different-
I think would have benefited it from it because you've got so many different continuities collected in one line. So what's separating this Bumblebee from the Bumblebee that you might be watching on the television or that you've seen in the live action movies? The whole focus was that this is the Bumblebee from this specific universe. So that may be a way to educate, because even though that is a collector's line, it's still a kid's toy line that is being sold in shops for kids. So yeah, the character decisions may be based on what we as collectors want, but they're still going to want kids to buy it. So it's finding the middle ground.
What do you think, Sam?
Yep.
I was going to say the same thing as Bisto did about the digital way. I think having a central library seems a really good way to have it. I appreciate the box, but I don't know. I think an app or something, you know, a Transformers library app or whatever it could be, just seems like a no-brainer, really, doesn't it? I think you could have everything on there, and I don't know, you could do things like, I don't know, digital top trumps that you could play online, your friends through the app, you know, that kind of thing is, you know, and you can only have the ones, the characters you've got. So scanning the QR code unlocks it.
Pay to win.
Yeah, but it unlocks it in the app, and I don't know, a million things you can do, but I think that's a better way of doing it, and maybe a paper version becomes a newer version of like the book. You know, is there something that they could produce there that you buy? You know,
or stickers. I like stickers. You know, kids like stickers.
Yeah.
What about a barcode?
No, go on.
I was just going to say, what about a barcode in the actual toy itself, which you can scan?
What's the
Sure. That'd be putting paint on a figure, wouldn't it?
These were the cards.
We're going to find out about Cyberworld this weekend, and it's already been said in a press release that the TV series, there is no TV series, it's a YouTube series.
Yeah.
So it's on YouTube, it's available for absolutely everyone to watch. You're not restricted by someone being available at a certain time of day with a certain cable package to watch a certain channel. It's absolutely out there for everybody. So as well as what else could they do with that kind of exposure? If they've got if it's just going on the Hasbro channel, that channel is a resource that they can use then to educate people about the characters in the show, the world in the show. I'd be interested to see what they're going to do with it.
It's good.
One point I would say about localization, which I know I've mentioned a couple of times, is that sometimes I think localization increases the creativity of a toy line, because when you start giving responsibilities to different regions, and writers and artists are maybe making something for that specific region, they come up with ideas which maybe a centralized area wouldn't do. And I think we used to have that in comics, you know, when you think about Transformers Marvel UK, which are exceptional comics and some wonderful stories which never appeared in the American versions.
I mean, talking about producing locally, this South American Minibot, even that's got it's not like a proper tech specs, but even on the back of the card, it's got a little bio. It's in Spanish. You probably can't read it unless you speak Spanish.
Google can do it for you now, can't it? It can scan things and it just translates it for you. You know, so we've got no excuses anymore. Maybe what they could do to get rid of the whole language thing is have this text spec in Cybertronian, so everyone has to scan it with a device and it will decipher in their language. You know, that's just an idea. I don't know.
Complexity of the thing that they've already got.
Yeah, let's make it more complicated and hellish for people. That's what I say. Cybertronian, yeah, that's brilliant. And we can do Sam's idea.
Probably got there is that Cybertronian was used for a lot of on-screen messages in Beast Wars, and a lot of them are not suitable for children. So if the children learn how to decipher them,
really,
you've got potential that all the Beast Wars episodes have got to come off the YouTube channel.
Oh well. I think Pete would agree that's the sacrifice we're willing to make. Get Beast Wars off. So any further ideas, Rohan?
You get off to Beast Wars, did you say?
Yeah. Yes.
Jamie was
Who doesn't?
Jamie was saying put everything in Cybertronic so that everybody has to translate.
Right.
But the Beast Wars show, all of the on-screen graphics were in Cybertronic.
Yeah.
The messages.
Yeah. There was
So
even like some yeah.
So did you translate it by the father?
No, the wiki's done it.
Yeah.
Oh, the wiki's done it. I need to look that up.
There's even like some references to people who were in the forums at the time and stuff like that. It's well nerdy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't even know anything like that. That's pretty cool. I suppose Star Trek was never like that. That was always clean with its different languages like Klingon, etc. There was no digs at people. Oh well. That's quite cool. Rohan, anything else you can think about?
I was just going to say, I kind of agree with all of you in the sense that, I'd like to see some of this coming back onto packaging. I'd like to see it in the digital format. And I feel like the majority of the cost is going to come from creating the content. So once you've got the content, then to apply it to one media or another isn't going to cost a lot, if that makes sense. So in my opinion, I feel like Hasbro just need to put a little bit more money into creating that content so that it's available for all.
Makes sense.
Hasbro, give me the job. Just send me one of everything you produce, and I'll do it for.
There you go. Easy.
I think we should.
Do you know what?
Together.
Yeah. And I think we just had weird. We had just the 80s was just a weirder time in general. But like you say, you could have like, hey, you want to buy this toy Huffer? He suffers from depression. He has breakdown. He's paranoid. It was
mega chance of psychotic killer.
We were just very kind of like mental health was just kind of like, hey, this is just a fun weakness for a character.
Fun weakness.
Mental health is a complicated issue.
It is a complicated issue, but in the 80s it wasn't. It was just a weakness a robot could have. That was a
weakness which you could turn into a strength, which he did in, I think, the early issues, didn't he? When he was feigning that fight with, was it Starscream? Because a lot of people thought he was going off the real. Braun. Wrong character. He's another.
I had a moment of, do I destroy this transmitter that Devastator was protecting Soundwave from using to get a message to Cybertron because he was homesick, and in the end he just punched it, I think.
Oh, he made the right choice. Was that the comic then?
Yes, very early issues of the comic.
Yeah, I just think when you look at the profile cards and the tech specs, I think it's something which was pretty awesome. You even had a little red filter paper so you could read the tech specs better.
Decoder.
And the art, the artwork.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember I got some knockoff G1 Dinobots from shows probably last year, and opening them up and getting that red green thing in hand. It was just text spec. It was just such an awesome blast of nostalgia, and just even though you could just squint and kind of read him anyway, but having that little in
the Transformer forums, TFW board is this individual called Kit, and he's made them trump cards. With little tech specs for all the Transformer characters, which I've been buying, and they're absolutely superb.
I mean,
so that's always an option.
Unfortunately, he's finished them now because he says he's got up to 1989, and after that point, the tech specs sort of drop off in detail. So there's not enough for him to put on the cards anymore. So he says he's probably going to do the odd special one that includes with the calendars he does every year or as part of something else. But I think he got up to volume 8, and that's it now, unfortunately. But he might do reprints. So if people want those sort of things, because they're really nice, there might still be an opportunity to get them.
Have you got?
Yeah, I've got them. They're my third Bible now.
Have you got a Patreon of TFUK guide.
Yes.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yes.
So Graham has done extra volumes of the Universe book.
He has. I think I've
yeah.
got one here somewhere.
Yeah, which was pretty awesome. They've collected some various characters that never got the time to shine in the Universe book.
Oh yeah,
Some
and
of
he's
them-
got digital
some of them-
copies as well.
Yeah, some of them were actually printed in the comic book. In the Marvel UK or the Marvel comic book, but never actually got to the after the volume 1 was printed, so they've never been seen print. But other ones are just completely made up.
Yeah, I mean, he's got another
Yeah.
volume coming out soon, which is
Yeah.
a mix of actual characters and
Mm.
comic book characters. So yeah, I've got
Mm.
all of them, and yeah, you should join the TFUK Patreon if you haven't already, because he's always
Mm.
giving away awesome stuff like that.
Yeah, you get cool
Yeah.
prints and stuff and little cards if you're on one of the tiers every month.
So I'm getting from this that Hasbro should be utilizing the fandom more, who would probably do a lot of the work for free, a lot of the show. And they've also got, for example, I was thinking when it comes to profiles, you can have it read out by Chris McFeely. So people could go online and it would just be Chris McFeely's voice, especially for people who are poor sighted, visually impaired, just reading out the profile in that wonderful Irish accent that he's got. So shout out to Chris McFeely.
I think that's brilliant. I think they are a corporate company, and if they were to do it, they would need to pay people. If they're going to be sending out Pinkertons to people who are opening Magic the Gathering cards, I think they can afford to. They should be paying people to make content.
Well, I think obviously when it comes to Chris McFeely doing a voiceover, they'd probably would pay him. But I think with a lot of influencers and a lot of people who are working in fandom, what they would probably love is free samples of the toys or a nice box set or something like that.
Well,
you know,
they don't even give free samples to the people who design the characters in the comic books in the first place, do they? So,
but there's a dream, Bisto. We've got to dream, keep it positive, and But I think everyone here is pushing for it to be digital, something that people can scan.
Yeah, I think so.
Makes sense.
And that way should be environmentally friendly.
Hire a Transformers historian to create this kind of.
Do you think we should kidnap Bob Bodansky and make him do the profiles for all the other Transformer characters?
Yeah. Maybe.
Do you think we should put a team together?
I think Grandpa Nap maybe is more.
Yeah. hug Nap. Pretend we're hugging him, then just to let him go. And then I don't know, move him towards a cage.
Yeah.
In a van.
Let's say, what about Armada Cyclones, Bob?
Now, Bob, do you want that KFC? Because I haven't seen that profile finished. Oh, come on, Bob! Don't cry now. Don't cry, Bob. You've only got another 2,000 to do.
The yodeling, Bob. The yodeling.
Yeah. And Spider Father wants you to write it in Cybertronian now. Start from scratch. Oh well, all I can say is thank you, gentlemen, for making Transformers the Show episodes at 264 a reality. And thank you for Samsformers, Spider Father, Rohan, BistoYeti. Been fantastic to have you guys on. It's always great, and especially to see you again, Rohan. It's been a long time.
Thank you for having us.
Samsformer.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, Samsformer, it's always a pleasure. Your wonderful knowledge. Spider Father, who likes to tell people that Santa's not real. And destroy
I'm just sparing you from
Grails. That's a heartbreak I wanted to experience, Spider. and go what
you experienced it today.
It's like killed me inside. I'm like, I keep looking at it and I go, It's like when I started dating May Lynn and then I found that she was wearing contacts. I'm not saying that was a big reason. I was a bit disappointed. But yeah, I got over it because obviously we've been together for 25 years. But, but it's because when I was making her watch Transformers the movie, I didn't know she had contacts. So when she was looking at it, she had taken her contacts out, so she couldn't see nothing. So she was delighted when I thought I was introducing her to something new and epic. Only to be betrayed.
Like no 2020 vision. Bloody hell.
I know. But thank you for tuning in. And I'm sorry I've not been putting all the messages across.
No, yeah. Thanks for to chat. Thanks to chat for bearing with us irregulars.
Yeah.
You're always fantastic. So cheers, guys. You've been a wonderful audience.
Yeah. And have a great and wonderful, sexy weekend.
It's time for Transformers, the show!